Hello and welcome to Rap Live from Metronome in the heart of Nottingham. I'm Becky Cullen. I'm your host for a fabulous evening of wordsmiths who are taking their wonderful words for a walk across the Metronome stage. You are very welcome in person and online. This event is brought to you by NTU Curated and Creative, NTU's arts programme, which includes our music events and scholarships, Bonington Gallery, the University Hall Concert Series, the fabulous Metronome, and of course RAP, the Writing, Reading and Pleasure programme. Throughout this year, we've had the pleasure to work with a fabulous range of writers and performers who have mentored, challenged and inspired us. We owe a debt of gratitude to the forces of nature that are Jude Yawson, Musa Rukwanga, Sophie Sparham, Joshua Judson, Sarah Bodinar, Panya Banjoko, Polis Loizu, and Freddie Kofi. Oh, and Manjit Sahota, who is out saving libraries. Don't close the libraries. Throughout this year, our students have taken part in over 700 hours of workshops, book clubs, mentoring and pop-up events, including a love-in for Valentine's Day, where we wrote poems on demand to fill people's hearts, book giveaways, film writing workshops, open mic nights and more. So I am here to introduce a fabulous range of talent this evening and a headline performance from our featured artist for this term, MC Angel. We've also got a special support slot from Nottingham's freshest spoken word collective, Gobs. Round of applause, I think. Yeah. So let's get started with performances from three of the writers from our 2022 anthology, All About Love. Inspired by Musa Rukwanga's novel, In the End It Was All About Love, we asked students and staff to write about something or someone that they loved. We received poems and stories about all sorts of things. Trees in Oxford, recipes, music, and a whole cast of heart stealers. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce our first three readers to the stage. Kai Northcott, Nikki Stevenson, and Lily Mitchell-Nugent. So as they are making their way, I can tell you that Kai is a student of creative writing. Nikki is a research assistant in psychology. She's going to be reading a piece called Dorothy. And Lily is from fashions, textiles and knitwear design. Welcome to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Becky. So today I'm going to be reading a poem titled Love Can't Be You. Love is the sacrifice you make when everything is going well. When you have everything to lose, when there is a moment, a person who is greater than you alone. So you revoke yourself. Love is when you cease to be. It is to die, to become less, but it begins the opposite way. In a joy that fills you, expands till you have no edges, feeling not just the air around you, but the embers of stars far off in the emptiness. Love is being more than full. We drown in love, but in a way that the ocean is us. And beneath the waves, we feel them ripple, roar, and crash. Love fills you until there is nothing more inside you, and you are grateful just to be. It is a debt that can never be paid, to have felt a feeling like this. To find you can be something greater than yourself. And love starts selfishly, and we burn with a fervor that can tear, not recognizing the damage done until you see everything is torn. And you didn't realize what it was that made love so valuable. And now, looking at the rip sheets, you find yourself aware of how small you are, that alone, a finite thing, all of this is nothing. And you wonder why you didn't give yourself up, because you weren't worth a thing. And it feeds a fear that perhaps you are entirely worthless, that there is no place for you, that your wretchedness will last forever, and you cannot repay the debt to a feeling so temporary. And how can that temporary feeling be worth so much? Love you can't forget, so you try to sacrifice. You pretend you are still able, that if you were to wither, perhaps you could, but you can't repay the debt. And you wish for love again. You wish for love to save you, failing to understand what it means. You wish for love for yourself, but in love, you are not a thing. In love, you die. And love isn't this. Love isn't this at all. And you still don't know what it is. The only thing certain, love is someone louder the further away they are.
Hi, I'm Nikki Stevenson, and I'm going to read you a poem that I wrote for my grandmother when she passed away. She lived to be 88 years old, which is a long time. I've written a very short poem, so here we go. You faded with the daffodils as spring was in full bloom, so small and still yet beautiful in a lonely room. I've sought you out in woodlands. I've spoke to you in the dark. I hear echoes of your passing in every forest and park. You gave me so much love and so very much more. You left me with the bluebells. They mean so much more to me than they did before. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Lily, and I'm reading a piece titled Care. Generations of Rupert the Bear in line like soldiers, one missing at the end of your bed, presumably, on top of your leopard print quilt. You're rarely in there, normally dozing off in the armchair. It's been 2 years. Crochet blanket draped over your lap, keeping you warm and collecting crumbs, the perfect table for the telly paper. Which is funny, because you only watch BBC One, although once you stayed up till 3 a.m. watching House of Wax on the Horror Channel. As long as you know red button means on and off, that's all that counts. And either way, you revise the telly paper cover to cover and sing the Welsh national anthem at the rugby players and laugh at the childhood classics. You'd win the prize for most unusual household item with your fruit bowl, brimming with reading glasses that you've collected and worn over the years. Or maybe it would be the saucepan of leftovers, which is routinely spread across the garden bench for the birds to eat. And by birds, I mean flock of seagulls. Your cardigan collection is one to envy, always coordinating with your t-shirts and skirts. The silver cross is embossed into your chest now. White trousers down your neck, frizzy from where you've only brushed the bits you can see at the front. I remember when I thought your skin was dry and bleeding, but it was just beetroot juice in your wrinkles that you later licked away. Handful of teeth, or sugar puffs as you'd call them, but your smile is still my favourite. Tea in a china teacup and saucer, 2 toasted slices of milk loaf and a cream cake. Digestive biscuit for the dog too, obviously, it's routine. You'd love the sun on your cheeks, gossiping at the bus stop, and saying the Salvation Army charity shop has gone to shit at full volume after smiling at the volunteers. I can't remember ever not having to shout to you. I'm hopeful that you'll be reunited with the outdoors again soon. Of course, we are apart in terms of distance, but I miss the parts of you that fade the longer your living room holds you hostage. I've written a couple of times, but I understand that it's difficult for you to hold a pen now. I don't mind when you list everyone's names before my own when I leave. I also don't mind when you say the dog will miss you instead of saying you will miss me.
Aren't they fantastic? Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Lily. Thank you. Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to welcome to the stage 3 performers from Gob's Collective. So as you make your way, leapfrogging onto the stage as I speak. Woo! So we have Sophie Diver. She's a writer and poet from Nottingham, a BBC New creative for her drama The Cupboard, which is broadcast on Radio 4 Extra. She has recently collaborated with Nottingham musicians Champion Cloud. Ooh, that sounds exciting. Polis's debut novel was published in 2018. He's got a thing about goblins. So that's so So that's his latest book is called A Good Year, and that is the one with the mischievous goblins in them. And you may have seen him as a guest on Knott's TV Book Club. Have you seen him on Knott's TV Book Club? Oh, okay. Rachel Foster won her first slam in 2016. She's performed all over the place, including Barcelona. Olé. And she is now an active GOVS member, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from all three of them. So please welcome GOVS Collective. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sophie, and I'm going to read The Sea, or Alone Time. Remember when you were afraid of the sea? When an ice pole blue inflatable lifted you further and further from the shore, and stamped along the sand were umbrellas rimmed with beer logos. But which one was yours? Heineken, Carlsberg, Peroni, a pint of spume, of swash, of sediment, down in one. Salt eyes, salt throat, your knees grind the sand. You don't use that lilo again. That was a waste of money. Use it or give it to another little girl. You burst it with a hotel pen. Remember when you were afraid of the sea? Instead, you stole a pedload from the harbour. A weather-beaten swan, bill chipped, Gladys, gilded across her hardened feathers, suddenly determined to fall into the horizon. A blur of jersey dresses coupled with surf shorts signal to your sunburnt back. Remember when you were afraid of the sea? Now you tread water like walking. The water is warm and you are steeping, and the breeze glides on like a mini Ripperton song. Sometimes another will paddle out, heeling in the brine, plunging for solace, collecting pearls of fear. Remember when you were afraid of the sea? Now you surrender to the tide. The water can throw you to land like a Sunday newspaper and nudge you back in again as a boat folded from the sports pages. You contented jetsam. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I'm Polis, and I'm going to read you a poem that still doesn't have a title. It's quite new, but just so you know, it's about Sagis Rouvas, who is a Greek pop star that I quite fancied when I was younger. Sagis in the pages of a magazine rising, Aphrodite of the swimming pool, slick round pecs catching the light, and eyes straining not to widen, flick to the next page. Him again, the one they call a fag, whose abs adorn the walls of every schoolgirl's room, whose artless pop bounces around in my head. He smells of, looks like, glossy paper. I've watched his body writhe in those videos, a strand of Medusa's hair turning me to stone. He's come out of the pool now. He's heading towards me. But there he stopped, frozen in time and petrified, statuesque, made literal. Buff and buffed, painted white from lash to pube, the Greek-turned god bowed to, and oh God, I cross my legs. Across the marble floor, the receptionist answers the phone. I wonder if she thumbs these pages too, fingernail slabs scraping back the corners to reveal the ancient art we call a man. I'll be sitting in the next room soon, the soothing blobs of ampules cracked on my scalp, a herb of Hecate to bring my follicles back from the dead. So much time I've spent staring at the mirror, cursing testosterone, mourning what's gone, willing the hair from other parts to migrate north. I'm sick of being manly, I'd think. I'm sick of being a man, if this is what one is. You've got hairy legs, they said in PE, repulsed or amazed, in the direction of my shorts, at the grim growth, and that's how it seemed, a growth, consuming my body like so much mold. akin to the stains of tattoos on Uncle's noble limbs, cigarette hand wafting the air as he moaned about the son who shaved his East Med legs. Like a Swedish girl, he said, to everyone's delight. But Sagis is no girl, not even posing in this magazine, with his hairless chest and fluid hips, not even with his full head of hair. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Rochelle Foster. I've got 2 short poems for you this evening. The first one is called Sweetheart, and you're the first to hear it. At the sink, staring out the window by the dirty dishes, caught in a soap bubble, trapped. I cleaned myself with sandpaper after I cried, giving you a blowjob. My face turned to suds, popping one by one. I was disappearing. Off to the shop to buy some time bombs and carrots. I straddled you in my adolescent bedroom, telling you you're mine after the time you sent pictures naked, bare, and phallic to someone else. There's disease in the air. I slip into fresh cling film. I need to feel clean. Tie my strawberry laces into neat little bunny ears. The man after you, boy, hid some under my pillow once with a bottle of wine. I've learnt not to stay when I'm being lied to. Don't trust people with sweetheart on their trainers. Today, I'm brewing cyanide, spreading animal fat on my toast, watching my roses spinning in the washing machine. Thank you. The next one is called Fungi. I spent all day in a damp cow field looking for mushrooms with a magic to turn waking life into the stuff of dreams at night. But all I found was poisonous fungi popped up in itchy places like styes on an eyelid. What if I were the tumours in my mother's breast and bones, attaching to her branches and grass like death caps? I would bloom in the winter's frost, find my home nestled in the mush of her marrow and blood. And when spring comes, I'll die by suicide, because her body is too warm for my gills to breathe with ease. But I'll die with a crescent moon touching my cheeks, because I know I'm poison. I don't carry the spells to fix the aches made in childhood. I am death, and I know it. So I'll drink in the chemo, sip it like a fruit punch on a hot day in July, and die. Die so she can live and continue to stir magic into teacups and mugs. Like daffodils in spring, she'll continue to sing in the dewy sun. But although dead, I won't be gone, always threatening to return with the winter's frost. But this is the dance of hope and loss, constantly twirling in the dizzy song of a rave in a cow field, where and when the cows have been ushered on to graze on a grass that's greener, so brains can untangle their knots in a quest for freedom. In places, incantations happen, but fail to ward off the haunting of my ghost under the oak.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sophie, Polis, and Rochelle. Thank you. It's just absolutely fantastic to see how much creativity there is in Nottingham. I just love it. Okay, so we're ready. Are you ready for the main event of the evening? This artist is a ball of creative energy. I've been so touched and moved by the amount of care and attention and the amount of real heart-to-heart, I suppose, communication that she's had with everybody that she's come across in the time that she's been working with us at RAP. So Shauna O'Briain, aka MC Angel, she's a spoken word and hip-hop artist. She has been filmed by Red Bull, BBC, Channel 4. She's performed at festivals all over the country, started her own nights, ended her own nights, set up another night. She she has featured on BBC One Extra Live Lounge as well, and she's published a fantastic memoir called Moments of Significance. It's a really gritty and heartfelt memoir of her time growing up and her childhood experiences as a young woman. So I think tonight she's going to treat us to some poetry and also a reading from the book. So I'd like to introduce you all and join me in welcoming to the stage MC Angel. Thank you.
Wow, these lights are bright. Thank you for welcoming me to your uni and to your space and for hearing your poetry. I'm really excited to be here. It's been a little while since I've been performing poetry out loud. I've been writing stuff, working on another novel now. Well, not my first novel, so kind of just been throwing my energies into that. But I've been writing some new stuff, so I'll drop some new stuff. But I'm going to open with... It's like the first performance poetry piece I ever wrote. So I started rapping, and I was like, rapping looks cool, I want to do that. And I was already writing poems. And then I went to a couple of spoken word things. I see people doing that. I thought, I can do that. I'm going to give it a go. So I wrote this first piece, and it's kind of like even a little bit sad to me that it's still relevant, because it shouldn't still be relevant. Hopefully, like I wrote this maybe 20 years ago, it should have passed its time and been gone. But this poem's about guys chatting up girls in the street. Literally, when I was young, I think I only deeped it a few years ago, the level of sexual harassment I was receiving, especially when I grew breasts. It was just like, I was very small as well, and it's like, I looked like a kid. And so yeah, this poem shouldn't be relevant, but it is. And it's the first piece I ever wrote, and it's called, well, first performance poetry piece I ever wrote, and it's called Don't Chat to Me. He was calling to me as I'm just minding my business, walking in the street. What's this? Some new kind of mating game that I must have missed, or... Now the guy that's whistling is focusing his attention on me. And I'm not seeing any animals around here, so right about now I'm feeling a little crazy. Or... Ain't never gonna get me to stop to chat to you in the streets. And next, I could be walking in a crazy maze of my thoughts, thinking about today, yesterday, or that new jumper that I just bought, when some builder displaying a full moon says, cheer up, love. It's a beautiful afternoon. I figured it was a beautiful afternoon before you came to lift me out of my so-called gloom. And I know that some people might be thinking that that's a lift, but to me, that's never gonna be a gift. So next comes chirps when I'm walking on road, ain't never gonna work. So what? You wanna check mans? I'm like, nah, look, mate, I'm a little bit busy, do you understand? So what? You don't wanna check me? I'm like, nah, look, mate, I'm late for a date. Maybe I could check you on another day. So what? Does that mean that man's ain't getting a number? And I'm like, no, now let me go. Then 2 seconds later, and in the distance, and his attitude starts to stink. He's like, anyway, you're ugly, bitch. I was only chatting to you, so you sucked my dick. I'm like, I knew that. That's why you never got my number, you prat. Then you see, an image appears before me, or back in the day, I don't know when maybe gentlemanly men knew how to treat women in the street. And women be watching guys' eyes, face, or bums, and thinking about what kind of husband they'd become. And when they have sex, men call it sex and women call it love, and it's all a bit emotional, trying to give my feelings a shove, trying to become these modern female sexual predators after being influenced by one too many episodes of Sex in the City. It's a pity, getting caught up with too much nitty-gritty. Then I could say, actually, mate, I'm gay. And they say, yes. Always had this fantasy, yeah? A bed, 2 women and me. So now you can see how the conversation switched to how the pleasure immediately becomes his. So here's my plea. When I'm out in the street, don't stop to chat to me, because emotionally I'm far too complicated. Thank you.
And you know,
even thinking about that poem, anytime I wear this tracksuit to the gym, there's like this really muscly guy that works in the gym. He's like, oh, it's you, the girl that wears flowers. It's like, they're not flowers, they're naked women. Like, and I tell him every time, they're naked women. Oh, you're that flower girl. I'm not. Like, fuck off. Like, go away, move. I'm not interested in chatting to you. I don't want your views on what I'm wearing or how I should be. I don't care. I'm not here for your comments. So I wish that poem wasn't still relevant, but unfortunately it is. All right, so this next piece I'm going to share with you is a little rap I wrote a long time ago. And I work with young people, and I work mainly with like young people from areas of poverty. I grew up on an estate in Camden, and I don't know, the majority of my life has been on council estates, working with kids, doing things, which has been amazing. I appreciate it a lot. So I wrote this piece a long time ago about gun and knife crime, and it kind of leads into a more recent piece that I've written. And it goes, too many shots popping off on our blocks. Youth in coffins where their bodies rot. This has got to stop. How many more youths, how many more lives lost before we open our eyes? Wars on our streets of a P's of a postcode. Certain areas a no-go. Get killed because of who you know. Can't walk moms to the shop because you're stepping on another's block. Risk getting shot. What's up? How many more families have to be ravaged in pain? Only memory is their child's name. It's insane. All these wars, there's no gain. How do we find the end to this? Don't want another youth's name on the dead person's list. There's no funding for the youth clubs in our communities. While our MPs ain't on bus day, got a fresh Bentley. While we're on the blocks having fights, shotting browns on the whites, we're locked down how the government likes. Thank you. So yeah, a lot of the work I do, they're like, oh, can you come in, work with this group of young people? Oh, they're disengaged. They're not disengaged, like, you just don't know how to engage them. Let's stop putting them labels on young people for a start. And then we got commissioned to do some work at the Imperial War Museum for Remembrance Day. So they're like, oh, we want diversity in the museum. Can you come and work with us? Okay, we're going to be your special little bridge keepers to bring you some diversity, which, yeah. So I worked with this group of young people, and when they got there, so I worked with like this South Asian young woman, a girl from a Caribbean heritage, a British young person, and a young person from like Norway or Sweden, I think he was from. And these young people, like the girl, you know, like these young people were like, no, the British weren't the only soldiers. Part of the whole British Empire was that South Asian soldiers fought in the war, Caribbean soldiers fought in the war, lots of different people fought in the war. And as a big adult, I was getting schooled by these 15-year-olds on what actually happened, which is kind of embarrassing, but I supported them through the process, and they created, together we created this really profound piece, and it got performed at the Imperial War Museum after the silence, and basically people complained to TripAdvisor. Then the Daily Mail got hold of it and posted my face on the Daily Mail, saying these woke kid rappers having a go at Churchill, ooh. And yeah, I was receiving like a lot of hate from it, people inboxing me really horrible words and all kind of stuff. Like, it wasn't very nice. I was actually in studio that day with Boy George. I'm just trying to make some music with this eclectic guy, and you know, all this madness is going on. But their people signed it off, and then they didn't really stand up to us when it came to the press coming for us. You know, they just let them put my face there. They just let them do that. And this is what annoys me about people really thinking like, oh, let's have representation, but are you willing to stand behind the young people truly? So it pissed me off, you know? So I wrote this little poem, yeah, as like a response to it. I feel a bit weird standing behind that thing. Quite like having my body, you know? It goes, young people, rise up, speak up. We have much to learn. Strip bare our systems, fill them with your wisdom, shake this century with your wokeness. I love how you enforce the importance of pronouns, smashing our colonized gender constructs. Our future is shaped with your love. Speak up. I will plug in your megaphone to smash the glass ceilings, and we shall dance the splinters into a new history. Keep naming the blatant racism as we call for change. The remembrance of all lives lost in war and how there is never a victory when members of our human family die. Speak of all the bodies. Drag the past into light as we face the shadows of ignorance. It is beyond time. And there will never be a right time to look at the harsh reality of an imbalanced history. Stand, youth, rise. Your power is the new paradigm. And as your elders, we will shoulder a portion of the blows because it is our great honor to hold you as you do the work. The universe has been waiting lifetimes for all you have to offer. So lead us astray, teach us new ways, for you are the emissaries of the future. Thank you. Because, yeah, basically, some of the people are saying, like, it just wasn't a good time for them to talk about it. Well, when is a good time? Oh, sorry, hold on. It's time to talk about racism right now. The clock said it's okay. Yeah, you can talk about sexism now. Yeah, we're allowing that to happen. No, we do it when we want. Because we're disruptors and changers and moving things and changing things and shaping things. And this thing's nearly taller than me. That's what's like exciting for me about poetry and writing and the power of it and what it does. You know, I've expressed it in so many different forms, which is such a blessing to my life. Like it's given me life. It's given me recognition, power. I left school when I was 15 years old because both my parents, my dad was a crack addict, heroin addict, still is now. And my mom was a severe alcoholic who died from drinking. And it's like being able to be in rooms, share your heart, share your truth, and be welcomed, be loved, and be respected. There's a deep community healing in that. It's profound and powerful. So it's like, it feels like saying some poems, but something's bigger going on at the same time, you know? So my mom always wanted to write a book her whole life. She'll be like, guys, when I write a book and we're rich, we're gonna do da-da-da-da-da. We was never rich, like, she was in that flat on the estate till, like, she died in that flat. And it's like, when I wrote this book, this was a real transformation because I was like, I could have ended up on the same path as my mom, but I didn't. And I cherry-picked the amazing gifts that she gave me. And I wrote this for her because she couldn't write a book, so I wrote a book. I can. And I got published by amazing Own It. Own It are so incredible. It's great that Becky's done so much work with them. Such a like incredible publishing house. Like, I feel so honored to be part of them because diverse stories really need to be held by the right people because it can mess up your mental health big time, physical health, all your healths if you don't have the right people looking after your stories and your writing. You know, so I feel very fortunate for the good people around me. So this is my book, imagine, published one. And I'm gonna read you a little bit from it. This was about kind of understanding I was gay and what that was like. I think I'm just gonna move this over here because that thing's actually taller than me. All right. Oh yeah, one time I did this at a Penguin event and the guy who was hosting it was from like Gay Times or something, and he was gonna cuss how I spoke. He was gonna be like, like he told me after, I was gonna say, did you understand what she was saying? But after I read what I read, he kind of had to just be quiet. So it's like, dude, like, this is like all the gays together right now and publishing. Do you mind? Like, we're trying to be united? Just gonna cuss me for how I speak? I'm glad the poem touched you. So, my mum sat us round the table in the kitchen, her 4 children. She had all of us within 6 years. I must have been about 12, my brother 10, my younger brother 8, my sister 6 years old, in our bright yellow kitchen, bright like our mother's heart when she still felt the sunshine. It was one of them family talks when she needed to address all of us at once. We'd sit quietly. What's she gonna say? Waiting for what was gonna come. I didn't want to be there. My mind was wandering, eyes looking at the old pieces of art on the walls, ripped corners of them dancing in the breeze. And my mum said, I know that one of yous is going to be gay. I was thinking, what? How can she be saying this right now? A mother knows her children, and I have 4 of you. So one of you is going to be gay. I was thinking, oh shit, it's me. I hope no one can tell that it's me. Oh, fuck. Because my mum would always tell me, I can see in your eyes, you know. I was like, can she see in my eyes what I'm trying not to say? Because she told me she could see things through my eyes. She had the sight. It was like my thoughts were being blasted through a megaphone and my heart felt like a djembe, and this was one of my clearest memories of being confronted with the possibility of having to come out, acknowledge my sexuality and all that I didn't want to be. The moment passed, but I was thinking, is this really my life? I'm broke. My dad's gone. He's left us. He's addicted to heroin. My mum's drinking real hard, and our family are a joke on this estate. Fuck you, life. Fuck being gay. On our estate, it was so grey that we never saw rainbows even after it rained and the sun shone. No one was out and proud. It was tracksuits without any exercise unless you're running from the feds. Big gold earrings that scraped the shoulders and harsh voices. And I didn't get on with the girls in my area. I didn't like them, and I didn't want to fuck boys at the back of the basketball pitch, drink cider, and pass out. I wore Nirvana t-shirts and purple DMs, so I was a target. And these lot moved in a pack, me being the lone wolf. They hunted me, shouting across the bricks, bouncing off the blocks, Shauna, you lesbian! That cut deep, because I knew it was the truth. Home was a war zone, the flats were a maze, there was no exit. They found my Achilles heel. I felt so isolated, all I wanted to do was kiss a woman. I would have crushes at school, heart beating like crazy for certain girls, watching, wishing I could ask them out, but boys were the safer option because I wanted to fit in somewhere. Like a square peg in society where you need to fit the round hole. That was my school, my home, and my estate. And I was thinking that survival was more important than understanding who I really was. I lost my virginity to a boy and it was shit. On some floor with a room, my mate was there, she fucked some other boys. My mum said that she would know when I lost my virginity, but when I came home with my friend, I was looking in the mirror, in my mum's room, thinking she could tell, but she didn't notice nothing, probably because she was drunk. I had a couple of boyfriends, I thought that I loved them, but I always knew that I had wanted to be with a woman. And one day I thought, I need to know what it's like to kiss a girl. So I went from my place in Tottenham to the phone box and I called the gay and lesbian helpline. And a guy on my phone told me about the candy bar in Soho. So I went on my own and I got drunk before I went. And I didn't know anyone and I saw so many different women, all colours, sizes, different styles. And I guess I was drunk enough now to chat to a girl. I let her know I never kissed a girl before and that this was brand new to me. She kissed me, I closed my eyes, her lips were soft and delicious, we kissed for hours. And then I left to walk through the West End with her and her mates. I invited her to mine, she said no, but gave me her number on a piece of paper. I stopped on a phone box to roll a joint to smoke before I went back. And I lost it. I proper regretted that joint for a while. It became a routine for a bit. I'd get drunk, find women, have sex with them. I didn't know much about what I was doing. I was trying to be good, but trying don't make you good. My home life was really messed up, so I forgot about finding myself through my sexuality for a while. And then there was him and him and him, and the last one was so loving, sweet and devoted, introducing me to his family at Christmas, waiting for me outside my hostel in King's Cross, walking me home, buying me flowers. Sex was okay. I could come if I grinded on him. The rest was all right. He was there. And then I met her, Sexy P. She lived in my hostel. The soft feelings of our bodies together, dancing naked in love, finally made me feel normal. How had it taken me so long to explore this? Why did I have so much guilt leading up to this moment? My moments with her were beautiful. Our kisses colorful like the garden of the finest flowers, a sweet smell and aroma that arose the soul. The teenage cuss words, gay, lesbian, made no sense in this space. Making love, tangled in emotions, our tongues spoke the body's languages and it was bliss. She was seen as a friend at my family gatherings, even though I made it clear that she was my girlfriend. My dad always asked about my brother's girlfriend, but he never asked about her. And then one time, Hollyoaks came on when I was at my dad's house, and he turned it off because there was a gay storyline, because he thinks it's brainwashing. My dad's theory is that if you're caught gay, they could get you at a certain age and you will be corrupted. This was his understanding, because he told me that when he was young, he was nearly converted by a gay. And it's lucky that he made it past that. So I probably wouldn't be here right now. I'm like, Dad, it's cool. You probably fancy the guy. It's fine. You can still like women and fancy guys. You can be anything you want, but you know. I was afraid to stand up for myself about the way that I felt loved, because I was afraid of being shut down. I didn't even respect my dad after watching him shoot heroin and smoke crack. Yet I cowered in front of him trying to be normal. And then when I stepped back and I let people speak, a lot of people seem to act so liberal about homosexuality. But if you don't speak up and you listen to their opinions, you'll hear some pretty mad stuff. And for a long time, I would even struggle in so many places to say that I was out and proud. I was working in a youth club, and the opinion shared there was that being gay was a choice. I'd sit in meetings, hear these opinions that were presented as facts, but I didn't say anything. I didn't say that I didn't choose to be gay, that I wanted anything but this tag attached to my life, that it was just once I felt the heart of a woman, my whole life made sense. Then I think of the countries where it's illegal to be gay, where they don't even have pride, where people get stoned to death for the way that they feel love. The world's projection of what is right and wrong makes no sense to the rhythm of my heartbeat, to those who stand up to say that we are proud of how we experience love, and that being in love with a woman is one of the most beautiful experiences in my life. So I have no need to apologize for who I am. So together, united, we make the stand. Thank you. I think that's it. Time's up. Thank you so much for having me. We'll be doing a Q&A. If you didn't get any of the free books, I have some for sale with me in case anybody wanted some, as you do. You know, we've got to be out here hustling poetry. Thank you so much.
MC Angel, shout, cheer, woo, woo! Thank you. So we're going to have a quick break, about 10 minutes, and then we'll be back with more performances, more poetry, more of everything. So recharge your glasses and be back in here in about 10 minutes' time. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. I don't know if we're live streaming again, but if we are, hello everyone.
We're back.
We're back in the room, everybody. Woo! So welcome back to Rap Live with Shauna O'Briain, aka MC Angel. I'm Becky Cullen, and for this half of the evening, what we're going to do is hear from some more students and staff who've written in our All About Love anthology. So I'm going to welcome onto the stage 4 artists now, and drop my pen on the floor. I'll pick that up in a minute. We're going to welcome these people. Amelia Hall, who's studying for an MA in Museums and Heritage Development. Phil Vimalaswaran, who studies forensic science. I know. Nimut Yutundi Isamoto, who's doing a Master's in Health, Law and Ethics. And Jade Moore, who is an information assistant. So let's welcome them onto the stage.
You guys come and sit down. I was just making sure they were sat down before I began. Hi, I'm Amelia, and my poem is called Suitcase and All, and it's basically about when you have a crush on someone and you worry about it. I'm in a happy relationship right now, so don't panic about me. Okay, so here we go. Oh no, it's here. The metallic taste and fear that you have someone waiting on your every word, hand and foot, painted nails at the ready. It's here, suitcase and all. Oh, lovely. Just what I want, just what I need. Here come the ebbing feelings of sadness, hurt, aching need, squeezing through the doorway. Never fragile, always stronger each time it visits. I can feel them, I can feel it, before it has even decided to ring the doorbell. But love has brought you gifts, I hear you quietly suggest, pushing me reluctantly forward. See, even you are not sure what to make of a blur of emotion, an ever-changing storm spinning and consisting of packets of crisps and tissues, stomach-churning worry, and a small inkling of hope. Why can't you deal with it, I mutter. We've already backed away quickly as it rounds the corner. A pure mountain of emotion that cautiously carries a box, neatly wrapped, but hastily addressed on the label. It stops. The ribbons on the parcel bounce with a gleeful shine. Probably not my glee. More likely, the spiteful sharp glee of others, finding out about the big cloud that hangs over my pretty little head, which will become, in time, an ever-growing mass of stormy weather and raindrop tears, finding out a weakness of a weathered gladiator as they can whisper daggers of poison whilst my back is turned. The box is now on the floor. The cloud waves a hand at the gift. Open. Open and see. I cannot promise it will be forever, or it possibly will, but I hope you will be happy with this one, this time around. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Phil, and this is my poem, Forsaken but Not Forgotten, and this is for my parents. Sacrifices had to be made to get to me where I am today, but they weren't mine to make. Ambition and desire was once clasped firmly between their hands, guiding them down the straight and narrow, entrenched in the certainty that one day they would prosper in life itself. A belief that stood proud and strong, like an oak tree, braving the harsh elements that batter and bruise every fibre of its being, but stands the test of time, emerging unbeaten from the recesses of defeat. Both of them believed in this, believed they would climb the ranks to success and prosperity, a dream that floods the minds of all who aspire to go beyond their station and do what all children want to make their parents proud. Shrouded in unpredictability is the verve of life, though, a mystery till the end. But that's a story for another day. Conflict and chaos immured the poor souls, unsteadying the waters, upsetting the assumed trajectory on the path they were to follow. Grief-stricken and disheartened by their plight, by a fearsome unknown that snuffed out the light, gnawing away at the land they called home, woe beyond belief. As brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, uncles, aunties, friends and neighbors fought to protect the land they called home. Change was inevitable, but not like this. Mayhem and chaos ruled supreme. Fear turned to desperation, and these baby birds were forced out the nest, fleeing from the place they called home, foraying into the unknown, in search of a new and peaceful life. Confused and scared they must have been, alone, in this new land, unwise and unknowing to the statutes these aliens followed. But they had each other to navigate this foreign terrain. Day by day, week by week, they trudged along slowly, adapting to their new situation, educating themselves on their customs, on their speech, on their way of living. I wonder how intimidating this must have been, unimaginable to believe, the linearity among which you would expect life to follow. Instead, it veers off into a tangent. This didn't matter to them, though. They wouldn't roll over and take it lightly. They would fight to their last breath, to take control over the situation and conquer the supposed curveball life had thrown at them. And this is exactly what both of them did, fought as one, against the ones who didn't take to their existence kindly, and slowly but surely they built up their life. Amongst these aliens, amongst all these odds, amongst their past sorrow, for the family they had forsaken, but for the family they would never forget. I am Phalakshan Vimlas Warren, the product of their iron will and determination, and this is the story of my parents, who I'll always love and aspire to be till the end of time. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Nima. The title of my poem is Resignation. So, where I come from, Nigeria, May 27th is the day we celebrate children, we call it Children's Day. But after writing this poem, I realized that in the UK, it's being celebrated in November. Anyway, here it goes. It's another day, another Children's Day celebration around the corner. And I can't help but think about you as always. I imagine what could have been, the good, the bad, and ugly times we could have shared. They say life is a journey, and indeed it is. It's a sweet, lonely, melodious, and sad one, filled with fear, laughter, anxiety, and perseverance. And on nights like this, I dare say, I miss you. Life is like a hellish merry-go-round, going helter-skelter. I'm finally admitting, finally trying to put my emotions into words. I'm tired of wearing a mask, pretending I'm scared of COVID, when in fact I'm hiding behind life's veneer. This period without you has taught me how quiet the world is without your presence. How I search for you and realize you're indeed not here. How I need to plaster a smile and bask in the imagination of what could have been if you were here. How I struggle, pondering on the entirety of your being. How do you miss someone, a body you only felt through your stomach for a few months? Someone you didn't even know too much. Someone you craved their voice, a voice you only hear in your soul. A heartbeat you only felt in your inner core. A face you only see in your dreams. Their smell you only perceive in your mind. Their charm, maybe wit, that keeps the attraction burning. An insatiable feeling that keeps you digging. Death will make you see life in a different light. It will change you. Oh, it will. It will kiss you in the rain, with tears flowing and taking you to a different realm till their kingdom come. They keep saying you'll be here tomorrow, through another means, but it seems tomorrow never come. They keep saying I'll be fine, but I think fine has taken its heels away from me. You are not a figment of my mind, neither are you a wish. You are my reality. My reality. The reality of my could have been garden of roses. I close my eyes to the feeling of good and deep-seated sadness, to the wishes of my heart, to dreams that come true. Hopefully, I'll find you in another world to come. But till then, this mind will keep roaming for you. My baby. And so far, my heart keeps throbbing. I know I won't stop thinking about you. I've accepted my fate of allowing my imaginations creep slowly into what our chapters could have been. An overwhelming distraction, no doubt. A silent tear. Damn. Missing you comes in waves. And tonight, I'm drowning. Yet, I dare say, cheers to life that buries us in a heart full of hellish wonders. Cheers to life and its messy tales. I have now resigned to hopes and insatiable dreams to console myself. Thank you.
Hi, my piece is called Good Night Morning, and I've written the preamble into the piece. There's a particular place I love. It exists at a particular time of the week and occurs in the company of a person I love. The place is a bed. The time is Friday night and Saturday morning. The person is Emma. There's a place Emma loves too. It exists at the exact same time of the week, in the company of me. The place is a bed. The time is Friday night and Saturday morning. I am Jade. We have created this place together. It is a haven for warmth, cuddles, gentle words, and gentler kisses. It is the nest of dreams. And I don't care how soppy and dreamlike this all seems. This is our reality. This is our love. I express myself through poetry. I use it to capture moments in my life which take me by surprise by their very existence. This weekly moment spent with Emma became something I wanted to preserve with words. I wrote it down. Then, when we were next in the nest, the scene was set, and I read, "What alarms would you like?" you ask at bedtime. It's Friday night. 7? I ask, my voice a mere squeak, as if you might say no. You are keeper of alarms when they go off. I am keeper of the early start. We sleep. It's Saturday morning. You are holding me. It is 700 hours, your phone screams. I'd like 700 more hours of sleep, please. We cuddle for 15 minutes until I make tea, just for me. You continue to sleep. I sit beside you and read. We're cozy. You're holding my leg, and I smile for the existence of this, my favorite time of the week. This pocket of warmth, it's heavenly. When we fall asleep, we whisper, I can't wait to wake up with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, all of you. Those fantastic poems. Thank you. Thank you. So it's time to invite MC Angel to sidle back onto the stage for a mini Q&A session. So here she comes now. Doo-dum, doo-dum, doo-dum. Here she comes. We're going to move over here. Oh, Roma is going to rove, roaming Roma is going to rove with a microphone. Here she is. Can you see her, everybody? Marvellous. I'm going to start off with a question. This question is, a lot going on in the world at the moment, massive backdrop of all sorts of different issues and conflicts, etc. What role does something like poetry or writing play when there are so many problems that are bombarding us all the time? Do you think? Just a small question.
In my not so humble opinion, unfortunately, we are in a world that's full of a lot of problems. This is a world that just has so much going on in it continuously, which can make it a hard place to be at times, can make it difficult to exist in a world where we understand that people have more than others, people get treated better than other people, and we need ways to express this stuff. And a lot of the time, it's a way of letting stuff out. It's a way of getting stuff off your chest. It's a way of raising awareness. It's breaking down stereotypes, like the guy at the Penguin event from Gay Times who really wanted to judge me. And the poetry, the writing creates an opportunity to see something different, but also it's inspiring. Like hearing everyone's poems tonight has been really inspiring. And writing since the beginning of ages and time has been a way of building community, and community is a force for change. So keep writing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean, we can write the answers. Well, maybe we can. It means that some truths can be told and the voice of voiceless people can come forward and we can make change.
Thank you very much. Anyone have a follow-up question or a question about something different? Put your hand up and Roma will run. Go on, Roma. She's been training for ages for this.
Is this right? Oh,
yeah.
Hello. Hey, Shauna.
Hi.
So you spoke a little bit about writing the book as a transformation for yourself, like from where you come from and where you are now. I'm wondering if you could say some wise words and more a little bit about the transformative power of the individual and like how, we as people can tap into that for ourselves.
Yeah, loads of people have different ways of doing that. So I'm Buddhist, as you guys know, so I chant, Rochelle knows and Becky knows, not the rest of you. I chant, and also writing has been a big part of it, studying Buddhist philosophy and being of service, really, within the Buddhist organization I'm part of, doing activities, supporting others. Supporting others has helped me get out of my head of myself and my own problems. Because, it's been quite weighty, the stuff that I've grown up through and what I've lived through and what I continue to live through as a result of growing up in so much poverty, in terms of having family with addiction and mental health problems still, like quite strong. It impacts me a lot. So last week I had some mad mouth ulcers and stuff, but actually I did write a piece, a new piece I've written about this kind of, because it's that continual fight to keep working on having that fire within and that belief and that faith in life when even your reality is presenting that whatever you're doing can't do that. But it can, because, me writing a book is transforming something of, my mom could have left broken kids who never did nothing. We could have ended up in the same situation as our mom and our dad, but we didn't. So from that, when you're able to really start working on that inner transformation, but it's not like this toxic positivity thing, like, oh, great, I'm positive every day. It's like, no, for myself, I've had to work with my own mental health continuously all the time. Like, it's a job, but writing has been part of that for me. Writing is part of that journey. So it's important to just write for you, but nobody else has has your story or what you've been through or your perspective or your understanding of the world. You're as individual as a fingerprint. So it's like, find your ways to like clear your vibration. Like yesterday I worked with some kids in a school who were really low confidence, and it was a lot of work. So today I just sat in the sauna for a good couple of hours, had a swim, did a yoga class, because I needed to move it out of my physical being, what I took on with being with them. I took some stuff on from that. So it's like, learn what your patterns are, learn what your rhythms are, learn how to be at your best, learn when your good times of writing are, learn when you're learn how to create an inspired state of being. Is it that you sit and meditate? Is it that you write? Is it that you listen to someone good? Like if I want to listen to raps, I listen. If I want to write raps, I listen to loads of raps, because I'm like, yeah, put on a beat. I'm like, yo. So it's like, find what works for you to keep bringing out that stuff, but not as a pressure that, oh, I have to do it, but because it's beautiful and you love it and it creates power, it creates transformation. Like as you change, the entire world changes. Your life is so infinitely precious.
Thank you.
I feel as though I should clap. I think we've got time for a couple more questions. Come on, make Roma run.
Got one there.
Isabel. Thank you.
Who was your biggest inspiration?
It's a difficult one. I would say maybe my mentor when I was like 20. I met this amazing woman called Red Jen. And she was in a band called the Bell Stars in the 80s, and she was like the first mixed race big pop star in the UK. And at that time, everyone that I'd been meeting through my mom and my circumstances were like, anyone who had suffered any sort of abuse or anything like that growing up were like addicts and had yeah, they were survivors, but they weren't surviving life anymore. Life had taken them over. And Red Jen had quite a similar childhood to me, and she was the first person I met who had had a similar sort of childhood, had a lot of violence growing up and stuff. And Jen, like, I'll go around to her house, she had gold discs all over her wall and pictures of her on the front cover of Melody Maker with Paul Weller, and she toured the world, and like she took me under her wing. Her arts organisation was called S-Team, helping young people gain self-esteem and confidence through the arts. And yeah, and I was really searching for someone to show me how to be a woman as well. Like, how do I be a woman? I can't learn to be a woman from my mom. Like, she's doing the best that she can with what she got, but I can't learn. That's not the woman that I want to be. So yeah, me and Jen are still close now. She hosted my book launch when I had my book launch. And yeah, Jen's a huge inspiration to me because she was the first survivor that I met who was thriving and really doing well at life. And yeah, you should see her now, 65. She's like, hey, come on, Sean, how you doing? I'm like, you got more energy than me. And she looks amazing. So yeah, Red Jen, Jenny Matthias, massive inspiration for me. She wrote a book as well called Surviving the Storm. She's just an incredible woman, like absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, she really been a guiding light. I don't know, yeah, I don't know if I would have made it through as much as I did if I didn't have met Jen.
Thank you. One final question.
Hello. I just wanted to ask, how did Moments of Significance come about, and how are you finding writing a novel as compared to writing poems?
All right, so one of my ex-girlfriends, I was kind of treating her like a therapist, you know, just like spilling out all these stories to her. She was like, babes, just write it down. Write it down, write it down. So she'd be sleeping, I'll just be waking up in the morning early, going and writing it down. So I just wrote them all down, and I had them in these like, had them in all these books, and I was like homeless at the time, but I just carried all these notebooks with me everywhere. And then I was running hip-hop events, I was doing some other things. And when I finished running hip-hop events, I met Crystal, who's my publisher, and I just shared with her a few pieces, and then she sent me a contract and signed me there and then. So I got signed immediately, which is quite rare. I understand how fortunate I am for that to happen. And writing a novel, I've been doing it for about 3 years. So basically, I wrote 55,000 words, kind of like a freestyle of my first draft, which was pretty shit. And I gave it to Crystal, and Crystal was like, and I brought on a co-writer because I think I'm neurodivergent. I don't really like to label myself with these things because I just get bored of things. Like I get bored and I find it hard to sit down for long if I'm bored. But if I'm interested, I'll be very focused. And then so it's very hard for me to sit and edit things and go over them again because I get super bored. So I brought on a co-writer, and she is like meticulous about going through things, and we go over everything sentence by sentence, and we just scrapped the first draft, threw it in the bin, and started all over again from the dot. But from that original first process, I got the storyline. So from that, I've learned now I wouldn't just go write 55,000 words again. That's actual madness. I actually know now that you want to create your plot, your line, create your characters, your story, and arc. So my next book that I'm going to write, I already know what I want to do, but I'm going to create the storyline, the arc, and then kind of fill it in from there. So it's been a new process because Moments of Significance is non-linear, so it's lots of shots of different things. So that was more like a collection of poetry, but it's like a collection of prose of my life. But when you're writing an actual story arc and then trying to get all the characters in and building it, it's a whole other world. And I've never been to uni or college or anything like that, so I've not learnt to write from anywhere. I can't spell, my punctuation's really bad, my vocabulary is quite limited, but the story I'm writing now is about a girl who's got caught in a gang because I just did 4 years of work with young women who are being criminally and sexually exploited, and I was advocating for them with services and stuff, which was a very taxing job on the soul. And I needed to put that story somewhere. And then the idea behind putting that story somewhere is to kind of raise awareness with services for them to understand where they're missing the mark with young people and to stop victim blaming young people, and to then show a story of how a girl just got caught up because that's where she's from. And it's not like a young man introduced her, because they really blame the young men a lot for what the young women get into. So we put a lot of violence that the young woman's quite violent in the story as well. It's kind of where's the violence coming as well from young women, and how are they involved in gang activity, criminal activity. And a lot of the stuff I saw in my work was peer-on-peer exploitation. So some of the girls to create safety for themselves would then exploit other young women, obviously not on purpose, they're just doing what they've learned. But a lot of that's in the book as well. So it's it's a medium that I just feel like stories, I'm sure all of you feel this in this room, stories overspill out of you, and then the stuff that you learn and understand, it's so important to capture them, put them down, bring them into fruition, and then work on that crafting to get them strong and powerful to be able to make them have impact in the world, to create that force of change, to open people's eyes. Then it's I went through them 4 years of that work where I would just come home and just be can't move certain times, my physical being, but that story will help, open people's eyes and minds to a different perspective of what young people are suffering. And that's the power of writing, is using them experiences to create that change.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
to MC Angel. Fantastic. So we're going to have our final 3 performers of the evening. We're going to move over here again now. Follow me. Hello again. So the final 3 performers of the evening are Kashyap V, Kayesha Thomas, and Sophie Clay. So I could invite them to the stage, please. Make your way. Kashyap has the best course title. He does cyber psychology. How cool is that? So Yes, Kashat V, cyber psychology, can't even say it. Keisha Thomas, who's an author and a staff member, and Sophie Clay is going to finish the evening with a sunset for us. So over to you.
Greetings. So my poem is a part of a 5-part poetic cycle about love. So appearing in the midsection of the cycle, this poem highlights the protests of a lover wrought by the melancholy of unrequited love, and it is addressed to his beloved. So, love-lorn longing. What is the price of feeling? An endless streak of dreaming. Visions made of beautiful dream stuff, putting the ionic dusts of star to shame and to blush. But the dreams don't always last, and when they dissolve, I'm cast into a temple where my prayers won't be answered, where my faith in reason is shattered. A listless tragedy is therein invoked, and in that mania, starker images are stroked. By the brush of my mind's longing, the face of a pixie and the nascent scent my forgetful soul is begging. Before I gather all my weaknesses to let go, I ask as I earnestly bow, is not my sincerity enough? Is not the undying sanctity of my truth enough? Is not the plain old naked feeling enough? My vulnerability ceases to remember any shame, a liberation through which I have much gained, bits of freedom and bits of pain. Though, through my truest feeling, I cannot bear another tough price. Alas, now I only long for your answer to be my final prize. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Keisha Thomas, and my piece today is called I Love Me. When I sit down and think about what I love, I start to make a list, and the list starts with me. Does it matter if I'm a girl, boy, he or she? I love me, and I'm as happy as can be. From the minute I was born to who I am now, I cherish the way I explore and frequently learn how. My long black hair, surely I admire. Grey from the root by the time I retire. Chocolate brown skin, I'm going for the win. Put me in the front seat and I'll take you for a spin. The way that I walk and absolutely the way that I talk. Enter a room smiling and they all turn and gawk. A positive mind and teeth that shine. I feed my mental, it's mine or mine. The list started with me because it's a love as pure as can be. Because I first loved me and then I love we.
My name is Sophie Clay, and my piece is called Sunset. I sit facing the ocean, the soft sand touching my skin, cross-legged, grounded. The sea breeze makes my hairs stand, dancing, they are pushed back and forth. The sun reflects off the waves, hits my eyes, I swallow the light, feeding off its energy. I stand tiptoe to the shore, awaiting the welcoming embrace. The water takes me into her arms. I take a breath, stretch and dive into the deep blue, my escape. Thank you.
So, here we are. We have come to the end of this evening, of this year of Rap Lives. I know lots of people have already handed in their final submissions, and some are just on their way, so good luck if that's you. Keep going, just a few more days. And I'd like to say some thank yous. So thank you very much to Christy and Jake at Metronome and to Tom up there in the gallery. Let's have a record. Thank you to Anne Adams and Roma Carlon and all of the culture team who work so hard behind the scenes to make such a vast amount of culture happen in Nottinghamshire. I can hear them on the... I missed somebody off. Are you talking to me? There's some giggling from the box. Anyway, thank you to them. Okay, good. Thank you to all of our performers and to Gobs Collective for coming this evening, and to the fantastic Shauna O'Briain, aka MC Angel. Thank you. And thank you to all of you for coming. If you want to know more about rap, we're at ntu.ac.uk/rap, and have a good evening, everybody. The bar's still open. Fill your boots. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.